decades, the Jersey Shore has been known as a top tourist spot due to its amazing beaches, amusement parks, water sports, boardwalks, and restaurants. But this popular vacation spot is being threatened by numerous environmental factors such as litter, pollution, and climate change. All are factors in the destruction of our environment on both a global and local scale. My name is Noelle.
And I'm Marissa.
And today we bring you a breaking story about our environment and how it is being destroyed.
Specifically on a local scale, overtourism, overfishing, as well as regular pollution and climate change all play a major role in the demolition of the ecosystems in and around the Jersey Shore.
The reality TV show, Jersey Shore, brought a lot of exposure to Point Pleasant and the surrounding towns, bringing attention to its nightlife scene and drawing young people and partygoers from all over. And it could be argued that this exposure was both a good and bad thing. According to the Ocean Signal, the show originally ran from 2009 to 2012 and is directly responsible for a 20% increase in beach and parking fees, resulting in a $400,000 estimated revenue increase.
On the other hand, the show fixated a lot on a lot of the trashy aspects of the party culture, and though tourism has greatly impacted our economy, it also led to a lot of new problems, which is over-tourism. In the summer, which is the peak of tourism, local beaches, restaurants, and attractions become overcrowded, and local hotels and rental properties are fully booked. Tourists may bring a lot of money in for local business, but they end up overpopulating the area, causing damage to the environment. For example, there's more litter and pollution in the towns and beaches, and the beaches start to erode at a faster rate.
That's another harmful factor that could have on the environment: beach erosion. The main type, natural erosion, is caused by strong winds, waves, and weather that move the beach, but erosion could also be caused by pollution and climate change.
And with beaches eroding away, this could lead to problems like rising water, sea levels, and flooding.
To see firsthand how our local environment is impacted by these issues, we have Sarah on the scene. Sarah?
Thanks guys, I'm here at Bay Head Beach. Litter isn't the only type of pollution that's affecting our ecosystems. Air and water pollution, mainly caused by gas-powered cars and boats, cause less oxygen to be present in the water. In fact, the entire Jersey Shore has been designated as impaired for dissolved oxygen by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, which will potentially cause harm to sea life. This is just a small area of our town. Just think of how bad this could get during summer, peak tourism season all over the world. To hear a bit more about how the fishing industry and overfishing it could be hurting our environment, I'll throw it over to Sean at the inlet.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm here at the inlet, a popular spot for fishing for both industrial fishermen and hobbyists. Point Pleasant can be described as a textbook example of a traditional fishing community existing in harmony with the surrounding tourist-dependent businesses. According to local fishing boat captain Arthur Arsh, new regulations and restrictions on gear have prevented overfishing, causing his boat to bring in about 50,000 pounds of fish less than in years prior. Also, according to Danny Mears Jr. and Manuel Viana, an avid fisherman since 1979, the regulations of the amount of fish and weight of said fish keep going up all the time. This means that overfishing has been less of an issue as of late, but these new, more lax regulations could increase the risks, proved by the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, reporting a 34% decrease in the population of New Jersey's most popular sport fish, summer flounder. I've been Sean reporting from the inlet. Back to Noelle and Marissa in the studio.
To learn more about the exact environmental impacts, we sat down to talk with Point Pleasant Borough High School science teacher, Ms. Vassar, to discuss.
What do you think are the biggest environmental issues in our area or the Jersey Shore in general?
I think that one of the biggest issues that we have is beach erosions and the problems that we have with constantly having to replenish our beaches. There's a natural cycle that the planet has with eating away at the beaches and redepositing sand that we're constantly battling. And there's a lot of negative things that go along with fixing that problem for our tourism that we like to depend on.
What are some of the solutions or steps that have been taken locally to help solve or prevent these issues from causing more damage?
So we do sometimes get bad storms that will come and take a lot of the sand off the beaches. So what we end up doing are dredging our beaches to bring the sand in from offshore and depositing up on the beach to lengthen the beaches. The problem with that is there are a lot of things that are being negatively affected. The bottom of the ocean floor, the bottom of the ocean isn't just a desert. So by dredging that sand up, we are, number one, mixing around the sand, but also preventing anything from possibly growing there that could be growing there. So being that we're constantly doing that, we like to think of that as an actual solution when it probably isn't the best thing that we could be doing for the environment.
And do you have any conservation ideas for yourself or locally that could be implemented to make a difference?
So our beaches, there's a lot of pros and cons to why we do the dredging. Obviously, where we live by the beach, the summer economy is very dependent on having nice beaches. So it's one of those things that we have to decide what's best and even take some of those cons into play. One of the things that we can do is after those dredgings occur is having things like beach cleanups and beach sweeps to help to clean up any debris that could have been brought up. We do have those a lot, or a good amount, in the area so that they are constantly trying to clean up any trash and things like that that they could be finding, and preventing that from getting into the ocean, because trash is another big problem in the ocean. It's not terrible around here, but it is a problem throughout the world.
Thank you, Ms. Vassar.
Although tourism negatively impacts our environment, tourism is one of the driving factors of our local economy.
According to the 2020 Tourism Report, using data collected from the summer of 2019, approximately 116 million tourists visited the Jersey Shore and spent a total of $46.4 billion, a 3.8% increase from the previous data collected, and accumulated about $5.1 billion in taxes.
Additionally, the tourism industry helps to employ approximately 300,000 people in New Jersey, according to the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Shore tourism may hurt the environment, but it also contributes to the state's economy as well as provides income for the portion of the population.
To gain more insight in how tourism impacts both the environment and our economy, we sat down with Paul Canitra, Mayor of Point Pleasant Beach, and Joseph H. Vicari, Commissioner of the Ocean County, New Jersey.
Well, so in Point Pleasant Beach, we go from about a year-round population of 4,500 people to, on a busy day in the summer, we have 50,000 plus in our town. And that creates a tremendous amount of trash, a tremendous amount of congestion, and a bunch of different problems that we need to mitigate. Especially, people come from all over the place and they don't necessarily know our rules or our guidelines. Depending on where you come from, you don't even necessarily share our priorities. But what's important in Point Pleasant Beach and keeping our residents happy is what we kind of need to lead with. So making sure that we're on top of the trash, making sure that we're on top of the crime, making sure that we're being proactive to keep a handle on the situation. That all is very important and involves a lot of resources and planning and things like that. So trash is a huge problem in Point Pleasant Beach in the summertime. We have right there at our main parking lot, right at the Arnold Avenue, foot of Arnold Avenue and the boardwalk, is our Little Silver Lake, and it's our Little Silver Lake parking lot. And on the summer, over the last bunch of years before we had come into office, trash in that area and in the reeds where the birds and marine life all live had gotten worse and worse and worse, and trash in the parking lot had gotten worse and worse and worse. And then trash on the boardwalk and on the beach had really gotten worse. So I think the first thing you need to do to tackle a problem is, like anything, you need to recognize that there is a problem, and you need to explain to all the interested parties that there's a problem. So so we went out and we had listened to the residents for a long time before that, and they were really getting upset about it. And we talked with the boardwalk, and we initially, look, sometimes you talk and the situation doesn't fully resolve itself. So we tried to really get involved. We went up on the boardwalk ourselves, and every week I was walking up on the boardwalk and on the beach and taking photos myself and trying to document the problems. And once we kind of had everybody agreeing, hey, here's what the problems are, we decided to put some ordinances in place to crack down on that. One of the largest problems, and it's tough when you're looking at a beach community. The problems were happening overnight, right? People were coming onto the boardwalk, and then at night, after the badge checkers went home, and after beach badge sales ended, they were going and having impromptu parties on the beach and leaving all their garbage behind. So we would always find rings of trash in the mornings. And these had hours and hours to blow into the ocean and to pollute the waters and to pollute the dunes and pollute our environment. And we needed to do something about it. So we passed beach ordinances that limited the size of coolers so that people could actually bring less trash, less disposable trash onto the beach. Disposable trash is such a huge thing. We have Clean Ocean Action does beach sweeps on our beaches all the time. And the number one thing is you're pulling up plastic straws, you're pulling up plastic bags, at least a couple of years back. Now since we've put some of these bans in place too, which we also banned some single-use plastics, and New Jersey's taken some steps and done that too, that problem has gotten mitigated as well.
During the summer, how do you manage to keep like all the beaches and like the towns just healthy, because all the tourists coming in from up north, down south?
We have the most oceanfront property in the state, 44 miles. That's where most of our money comes from. Most of the taxes I told you about, 65% waterfront, ocean, and Barnegat Bay. And what we do, we work with the towns and the state, and we make sure we strictly enforce it. We fought against anything to do with ocean dumping many years ago, drilling oil wells, or anything in the ocean. We're totally against that. We want it as pristine as before. The quality of water in our bays, when I first came in the 1960s, is cleaner today than what? We have a centralized storage system. They don't dump anything into the waterways. We're very, very careful, even with stormwater. So what we do also is we protect the environment, number one. What the cost is, the environment is always protected. The 44 miles of ocean, Barnegat Bay, one of the 28 national estuaries in the United States of America. We protect that immensely. It's very, very important to us. And we know it, but you know what it is too? We have a lot of local volunteers that watch what's going on. For example, storm drains. Now if you're gonna change the oil in your car one time, you can't dump it in the storm drain. You can't dump wastewater in the storm drain. And we tell people, you walk the dog, don't close the storm drain. You have to clean the streets and everything else. And that's what we do. We have a special unit that cleans out the storm drains. Because if it goes to the storm drain, it doesn't go into sanitary sources, it goes out into the bays and lagoons and everything else. And we're very, very careful with that too. The local police we work with, very, very careful with them too, so we don't do that. So that's one of the things. And people have conditions to take care of the environment. They realize how important it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of like jobs and programs early in the morning, especially too, like at the beaches, cleaning it and stuff.
And and if we say anything, we take care of it immediately. The local towns do a great job,
they do
especially
a great
Point Pleasant
job.
Beach, the Borough, Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, all the way down the whole strip from Manslaughter to Bayhead. And also we put the dunes in right at the Superstorm. The dunes, grass, very important. And on the beach, if someone throws a bottle of rain in the ocean, people go crazy. You're just not going to do it. Or you see someone flipping the butt out the car window, people will break it up. You're not going to say it. Or have a cup of coffee, you finish the coffee and throw it away. That doesn't happen anymore. Did it happen at one time? Yeah. You can't have a cup of coffee and throw it away out the window, just lay it on the street. Not going to happen.
It's really fascinating to see how tourism can impact our daily lives both negatively and positively.
Exactly, which is why it's so difficult for us to come up with solutions to fix the problem without affecting others. In some cases, there are no solutions.
There are even ways tourists can help out to slow the damage being done to the environment. By traveling in smaller groups and by visiting less commonly visited or overpopulated attractions and locations, tourists will be doing their part in protecting the local ecosystems as well as having a more authentic vacation experience, connecting with the people and the culture of the Jersey Shore. Although this will be a good way to start making changes, the government and local authorities also need to find better ways of dealing with the effects of tourists. Regardless of whether you're a tourist or local, the most important effort to be taken is becoming educated on how to keep our home safe and clean.
In cases like air pollution, there are things we can do to slow the negative impacts it has, like burning less fossil fuels, driving electric cars instead of gas-powered ones, and conserving our energy consumption. But there's nothing we can do that totally eliminates it as a threat.
And with litter, there's no way we can pick up every single piece of trash on the streets and in the ocean, mostly because it would end up there or in a landfill again anyway. But we can recycle and reuse recyclable alternatives to things we use every day.
Even local restaurants have started to help out this cause by using paper or plant-based biodegradable straws to lower their impact on our ocean. In New Jersey, we even have a law that says businesses can't give customers plastic straws if they don't specifically ask for it.
There are even some laws in place that protect our beaches. For example, you can only bring a certain size cooler to the beach to prevent the amount of trash that could possibly be left there. Even littering itself is illegal. There's even a ban on floats and other flotation devices usage in the ocean to decrease the amount of plastic that ends up polluting the water. The state also monitors the bacteria level of the ocean's water to make sure it's still safe for everyone to swim in.
These are some small steps in the right direction to start making a difference in our community. To learn how the students of Point Pleasant Borough High School currently work towards achieving our goal of a cleaner environment, we sat down with the Eco Club president, Thea Merritt, to talk more about it.
Why did you start this club in the first place?
So I just wanted to do something to protect our local environment and do our part to contribute to the overall world of helping keep the world be a cleaner place.
What do you think is the biggest threat to our environment on a local scale and a global scale?
Locally, I definitely think it's more like litter and like recycling is the biggest problem for us around here. And then for more of a global scale, I think it's more like companies and like larger factories and their contribution to overall pollution and waste that they're creating through their products. And yeah.
So what does the Eco Club do to help this problem, and what can our generation do to help the environment as a whole?
So we are doing a couple projects currently. We're doing things like cleanups, like park and beach cleanups. We're advocating for recycling in our school and our community, and we're raising awareness for the effects of littering and pollution around just everywhere. Just raising awareness is also a thing that everybody can do to help. Getting into more of what everybody can do to help, they can recycle and reuse things at home themselves, as well as finding products that can like last them for a long time to reduce waste within their own household.
And with that, we hope you've gained a new perspective on the Jersey Shore and how we are doing our part to lessen our negative environmental impacts. To most, the Jersey Shore may just be a vacation spot or a setting to their favorite reality show, but to us, it's our home, and that makes it our job to protect it, so we, as well as future generations, will have to clean our oceans that we swim in and beaches we visit.
That's all the time we have for today. We hope you guys watching learned something about how tourism affects our environment and are inspired to make some changes. I'm Noelle.
And I'm Marissa, reminding you to save the environment and save our future.